agent from Martha Clock, K-L-O-C-K. To accept this call, press 1.
Mr. Miller speaking. Can I help you?
Yes. Someone has been coming to my house and harassing me.
Okay. How are they harassing you?
Well, it's your people.
Okay, but what are they harassing you about? I mean, are they talking to you? Are they saying anything to you?
Well, the first time someone came, they came at 10:30 at night.
Uh-huh.
And I gave them person, I opened the door.
Okay.
They said they had papers for my husband, but they wouldn't let me know what they were about.
Uh-huh.
And they said they would be back and I would be seeing them a lot.
Okay.
Really kind of scary.
Well, how would that, I mean, I understand that you're probably unnerved by it, but
Yes, I am. Yeah, I mean, I've never had anything like this before.
how many times
And, I mean,
have you
I've never
had?
broken the law or anything.
Okay. Are you available? I can talk to you about it because I got some information that I think
Yes, I would like some information. I'm very puzzled by this.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Because the person whose name would not talk to me.
Okay. Give me a minute. I'll be right over. I'm just down the street.
Oh, you're here.
I'm
you were
all
at
right.
my door while ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Just come to
You're
the.
not going to harm me, are you?
Hell
Can
no.
I come outside and talk to you?
Yeah, you can come out. Let's just talk outside in front of the house.
Okay, yes, that would be good, because I'm a shy person and I can't help it.
Okay. All right.
And I want to get this settled. I don't want to be in trouble or anything.
This will be an ongoing deal. So yeah, let's just. I'm here now. I'm pulling up. Just go ahead and come outside, and that way.
Okay, I'll be up in a minute.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, I guess the way I understand it,
I really don't know what's...
your husband's an over-the-road truck driver.
Yes,
He's out.
And he's not here much.
Yeah, because say I used to be one too. I know what it's
Okay.
like. The thing is, we got papers that we need to give him.
But if I take them, then what's that going to...
Well, it's supposed to go to him.
And see, I don't know when he'll be home again. Because he's only in and out sporadically.
But deputy told
You've been
me.
a truck driver, you know
Yeah,
that.
deputy told me that he thought he was laid up in a hospital in Canada.
He was for a while.
Uh-huh.
And is this about that?
I have no idea.
You can't... That's what really unnerves me, because you can't tell me what it's about.
I don't know as
That's
far
what
as...
makes it scary,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, here. I am
Right.
the owner of the company.
Yeah, my neighbor told me you was here
And
earlier.
yeah, your neighbor was upset because he called the cops and told them I
Well,
was
because he knows it scared me.
he told the police that I was impersonating a private investigator, which
Uh-huh.
I'm actually bona fide. So,
Right. And I mean, I know if you're not the person that was here
no.
earlier at 10:30 one night.
Yeah, I was here earlier today.
No, I mean back.
Oh no, I wasn't that guy. It
Yeah,
was probably
he had a
somebody-
girl with him. I don't know. I almost thought that was a senior prank.
Well,
because it was 10:30 at night. And,
he's out on the road.
yes, and I like I say, I don't know when he'll be in.
He comes home like every 14 days for a day and a half.
There's no
Yeah.
knowing when he'll come home. If you've been a trucker, you know.
Yeah,
that.
I know.
mean,
I work-
because
I worked-
He goes when the dispatcher tells him, and if he
I
sends
worked
him this
for-
way, he comes home. If he goes the other way, he doesn't.
Yeah, I worked for Earl Henderson, and I was always out in the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, he might go east, he might go west, he might go south or north. You never know.
I was a West Coast team driver, so I'd go out.
Because he hauls campers, so he's
Yeah,
all
I used to
over.
pull reefer. So,
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll give this
So
to you.
you can't tell me what it's about.
Well, all I know is
I assume it is something from Canada.
It's
I
from
know he was in
Canada.
the hospital a long time. And my insurance is working on that hospital bill. It really is.
well,
I've been talking weekly with the gal that's...
have him call me because
Okay.
I know this much. This is Canada.
Yeah.
We're in the United States.
Right, I know, and I
I'm
don't
asking
know
myself, okay, if I serve your husband
Uh-huh.
and he doesn't want to go to court,
And he doesn't want to drive to Canada and
well,
go to court. I
the
know
thing-
that. I mean,
oh,
there's,
it
there's
is
no doubt in my mind about that.
I don't think it's a subpoena. I think it's just announcing that there's
But
a
the
civil.
first guy showed me this paper, and it's like he wouldn't let me see it. It's just like,
Well, he could
really
have. He
upset
could
me.
have gave it to you and just.
okay,
What I would do is when he gets home, have him call me
uh-huh.
because I'm a private investigator.
Can I
also.
just have him? I can call him on my cell phone and have him call you.
Yeah, he can
sometime.
call me and have him call my number.
Is there a certain one?
Well, it doesn't matter. That's the main number. That's
Right.
my cell number, and the second number it's an office number. But the
Right.
main number, if you call it, it'll reroute to my cell phone.
So is this? You can't tell me, right?
I don't know. Well, it's
You
not. I
didn't
can't
read
tell you.
it.
I really don't read
I
them.
wonder if they're wanting him to come to court. I mean, I know
I
he's not
th-
going to want to come to court
It's a
in
no.
Canada.
It's really like a notice. I don't think I didn't see a court date on there
Uh-huh.
because if there was a court date, I would have had to have it served before.
Right, and see, that's why I wouldn't accept it before. Is I was afraid it was something like that, and it's like, what if this court date is for next week and he's gone for another month?
There's no court date on it. It's just
So-
it's just a notice of civil claim. It's just
Right.
telling him that these parties want him to sue or want to sue him or make him pay for the medical bills. But
Okay, he was also. I can tell you this because he tells me he was in an accident, but the police told him it was not his fault. He had nothing, no worries with it. There were some guys that were off the road, and I don't know, they'd been doing drugs or drinking or whatever, and they had wrecked, and they were off on the side of the road, and he saw the car and he slowed down. But they were running, I don't know if they thought the police were there or any of the details, but they ran right in front of him. And he hit one, it busted his grill on his truck, it broke the guy's arm. And I'm wondering if this is what that is. And that guy is trying to say, hey, he broke my arm,
is
he
it one of those
give me
guys?
hospital bills.
I broke my arm, therefore I.
Therefore,
can't
you
work.
owe me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it might be, and he is too, because I've told him that this.
Two things. Tell him not to worry about it for two
Uh-huh.
reasons. One, if he's already got a policy, insurance policy.
He has an insurance policy through where he works for driving. You mean?
I don't know if this is a commercial accident. I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah.
details.
He was in his truck, so it was commercial.
It
and they
should
knew
be
about
handled
it.
through the insurance company.
Right. So.
So he can go back and say, hey, you guys are going to have to call my insurance
Right.
company.
Because they told him up
And-
there when it happened. They
and
said, you're at no fault. You don't need to.
The insurance companies will say, hey, they'll look at it and say, well, we're not paying for the damages, or they'll indemnify. Indemnify means how much it's going to cost to litigate
Right.
it versus the cost of just paying the money. And a lot of times they'll just indemnify, say, you know what, go ahead and have the money. But it's on the insurance company and not on the driver.
Right.
That's what insurance is for, is to help
Right.
relieve the driver of the financial burden of a fault. But number two, since it's a notice that comes out of Canada, then even if I successfully deliver it, how are the courts in Canada going to enforce it? They can't.
That's what I mean. Can they come
No,
across the
because
border?
this is a sovereign nation.
So really, this doesn't
You can't.
mean a whole lot.
This is a
But somebody's paying a whole lot to get
even
this
if
done,
it was
right?
a criminal issue.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it must be about that accident. There's no
Well,
doubt in my mind now. That's
Yeah. Just if you have any questions, call me. I'm the guy in Indiana. I run a business
Right.
in Terre, Haute, so I'm
so.
a
Is somebody from Canada
I'm a
hired you
Hoosier.
to
I'm
do
not a
it?
Canadian. Yeah, because I don't think Canada. I mean, you can't. It's British Columbia.
I
That's
know.
all I know.
After this first time, when the guy came at 10:30 at night, I called the hospital in Canada and talked to him. I said, "Are they sending out a collection agency or something?" I said, "I've turned this into the insurance, and they're taking care of all that, but they're taking forever because the hospital wasn't cooperating with the insurance company." And now they finally are, but they've been back and forth on the phone. But doing something long distance like that's not easy.
Yeah.
But they said they don't send collection agencies.
No,
they
they don't.
like
It's
that.
a civil. Some attorney, some guy hired an attorney
Uh-huh.
who's going to, I'm sure
Try
the guy.
to try to sue him
it's
for
all
money.
it's all over money.
Yeah, I know it is.
And I have personal opinions about it. But then again, this is my profession. I'm the guy that delivers about news.
Yeah, you're just doing your job.
I'm the mailman.
Yes. You didn't write the message.
Yeah.
You just had to
See,
bring.
mailmen can't deliver. FedEx guys can't deliver. So
Yeah,
they give
that's
it to
what another thing I wonder. How come they didn't mail it and have
they
it
can't.
just where you sign for it or something?
I know all the U.S. court rules, whether it's Indiana or the federal court system. You cannot mail it. You have to hand deliver. You have to hand it to the person.
Right. Well, this guy was going to hand it to me, and then again, I thought, okay.
And he just took off.
If
he wouldn't.
I said, well, if I do, does that mean he has to go? Maybe he may have to show up in court somewhere in Canada or something, because I assumed it was about Canada.
Even if he doesn't show up, how are they going to enforce it?
And they may put him in jail for that. And I said, I don't want to do that.
How much time did he spend in Canada?
Well, he hasn't been back since he was in the hospital because he doesn't want to go back.
I don't blame.
But he was in there quite a bit before that because they have a company where he works at. They have a branch up in Oregon, and they send trailers up into Canada a lot. So he had been going a lot because they pay better for going to Canada.
But he's not.
But he's not been back since then, and since he was in the hospital and almost died up there, he's not really wanting to go back to Canada.
I don't blame him.
He said, I don't care if I ever go back.
I had an accident in Waterbury, Connecticut. Well, I worked for TMC. The first 6 weeks I went through I had a trainer. And then they gave me a truck, and I told them, just please leave me in the Midwest for a while until I get used to this truck.
Right.
They jammed me right on the East Coast, and if you've been out the East Coast.
He prefers the West. He tries to stay West.
Yeah, West.
Once in a while he'll have to take one there, but if he can avoid it,
West isn't bad, but boy, sometimes.
He said the traffic over there and the police are on your case, and
California,
he said it's bad. He's even been to California, and I can't see him driving.
I was running
California, but he has.
I was running 40 back and forth.
Is that up and down the East Coast,
West
Coast?
Interstate 40. That's Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California.
Yeah.
And we run produce from the southwest part, like Yuma and California, and took it up to Schnucks in St. Louis. We was running for Schnucks back and forth for Henderson. And those roads get crazy too.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
They're faster roads.
I figured California would be one of the worst places, and I've never been there. But
I hated the East Coast. I didn't like New Jersey. I don't like New York. I don't like.
To me, I think. Well, my dad was a Pearl Harbor survivor, and I was out in Seattle, Washington, for one of his ship Navy reunions. Of course, he's passed away now, but we were out there, and it's the first place I was ever at where they have stoplights to get on the interstate. It's like, how can they do this? And the roads are all on top of each other, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. Tell him, like I said, tell him not just to give me a call.
Okay.
I'm not.
And you're Greg?
Greg Miller. I'm the agent in charge. Okay. I own the company.
You didn't grow up in Clinton Falls by any chance, did you?
No, I grew up in.
There's a Greg Miller that used to go to church.
My family's from Clinton, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Clark County.
Yeah.
Or no,
Vermilion County.
Vermilion.
But I work and live with these people here. They, the Canadians. Just have them call me.
Do they do this a lot? Send things down to
This is
Indiana
the first time I got something from Canada. I've had clients from Canada for other matters, but not for.
I can't believe they pay huge amounts for something that they know they're not going to get nothing out of.
I don't know. It's the same mentality.
I mean, I'm sure they. I'm sure they have to be paid a lot with gas.
I do have a hunch. I think
the first guy told me they'd been trying to get a hold of him since February, and this was in May when they finally got a hold of me the first time. So it's like I couldn't believe they'd really been trying that hard. But then again, he said, he says that's what threatened me, because he says, okay, I'll leave now, but he says I'll be back and you'll be seeing a lot of me, and that scared me.
Yeah, that's.
I didn't like that, and I thought, and then when nothing happened again after that for a while, I thought, okay, maybe it was just a senior prank and somebody was just out messing around.
Well, he's not supposed to say.
But it scared me.
Talk like that because.
That was not professional.
Well, a process server does two things. One, has the court paper, gives it to the person that needs the court paper. That's all they have to do. They don't have to give a speech. It's like that. There's a TV show on True TV about this process server in New York walking around. He throws a big fit every time, causes drama. No,
It's not really like that.
Are you Joe Blow? Yeah, here's court papers for you to buy. That's it.
Well, and my sister looked online. She says, well, according to what I saw, she said they could just throw them papers down at your door and you're served, but it's not like that. So.
Indiana, if it was a court paper in Indiana, you can legally stick it to the door and walk away. And
you don't even have to see the person.
You don't have to
they're
see the
there or
person.
anything.
Federal court papers, you have to give it to the person that's on the papers.
Right.
Illinois, I get court papers from Illinois. You just have to give it to somebody that lives in the house.
So every state's different.
Every state's different. So I deliver a lot of Illinois, and you know, I can leave it. Anybody that lives in the house is over the age of 13. So
even if some kid comes,
if the kid comes to the door, are you over 13? Yes. Give this to your daddy. It's
and
served.
that's it.
Federal, you have to give it.
So.
Yeah. Federal, you have to give it to the person on the papers. Indiana, you can just tape it to the door. I get hardly any services for Indiana because
I was gonna say probably it rains on them and they can't read them.
The sheriff's departments they do most of those because
one of my granddaughters, one of her other grandfathers, is a retired state cop, and I called him and asked him about it, and he said, "Well, they should have been in a uniform." But of course, at the time I thought it was a summons to appear in court.
Deputies they usually give.
Yeah, he said it should have been a deputy.
It'd be a road deputy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They probably because Canadian court's probably like federal court. You have to give it to the person. Where Indiana, a deputy would just leave it in the door and walk away.
Oh, a deputy will just leave it in the door too.
So, but then again, you could turn around and say, well, I was never properly served. I didn't know I had these papers,
All right, especially if somebody just leaves it on your door, it could blow away.
Yeah, there's no proof. I mean,
there's no way of saying, hey, maybe I didn't even see it.
I'm gonna head back to Terre Haute.
Okay.
I usually don't work Saturdays, but I had to today.
Oh, you guys must work crazy hours.
Oh,
that guy was here at 10:30 at night, so.
Oh, we're not supposed to deliver after dark.
See, that's why this was so scary to me.
That's why we don't deliver.
That's why after that I was really scared.
We don't deliver. We don't engage.
He evidently was not maybe he doesn't work for the company anymore. I don't know.
Well,
he shouldn't. It doesn't sound like.
The company policy is you do not engage during hours of darkness.
Right.
So if it was a half hour before sunset or half after, that's fine. Legally, he can knock on your door 2 o'clock in the morning and give you papers, but that's just not. I don't consider that professional. I mean, this is not like an undercover drug.
Well, and for one thing, I wouldn't do it, but some people you might knock on their door at 2 o'clock in the morning, they might pull a gun on you.
Yeah, I'll be that kind of person. I'll have a gun behind me if somebody's knocking on my door.
So why would they want to do it like that?
Yeah, but they're not.
But I was dumb to open the door at 10:30 at night.
They're not supposed to deliver during hours of darkness, and they're not supposed to inject their personal opinions or bias or views onto the person receiving.
Right. Well, this guy.